Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. This one's a bit of a special one. I go over your picks actually on Twitter. I asked the other day, give me some altcoins, I'll go over them, give full technical analysis, breakdown on any asset that you choose. And I'm going to be going over the main ones that I've seen and come across. But number one, this wasn't actually, given on Twitter, but I want to give it to you guys. I want to just start off with it, and that is sand. Now, sand, again, for the longest time I've been saying, well, not the longest time actually. I would say since like mid-February, I've been saying sand is honestly something that's worth looking out for. Now, one thing that I'm going to mention that is common throughout all the assets that I'm going to go through is my use of the yearly chart. This is honestly something that I think a lot of people, overlook, and it is probably one of the biggest assets that you could add to your arsenal when it comes to trading, spot trading specifically, because it is how I managed to call out these altcoins a while ago, SHIB before its massive move up, Zilliqa before its massive move up, and now potentially Sand as well before it decides to move up. And it essentially revolves around the fact that on the yearly chart, we've had this massive down close candle in 2022, followed by a liquidity grab in 2023. And now this year, we are potentially getting our swing low to form with a move up, aggressive move up. If we look at SHIB really, really quickly over here, you'll see exactly that. Grab, higher low in 2024 before we get this massive swing low to form. Perfect swing low. That is exactly the pattern that I was able to spot before it happens on the yearly chart. So please, if you guys are not using the yearly chart, please add it to your arsenal. It is honestly such an underrated tool that I think a lot of people are just overlooking to a great extent. So back to the, I guess, main analysis is that, yes, we have my bias over here is looking for higher, but let's go over the lower time frames and see what's happening. I'm going to go down to the monthly and start my way from there. Now, number one, what is the line in the sand for this bias? What are we looking for? We're looking for potentially this down close order block over here, which we've back tested this month. We need this to hold to confirm our, bias to the upside. Now, you might be thinking to yourself, well, this is a high percentage move down to base invalidation on, but keep in mind, this is spot, okay? Let's go over the weekly and just see. Again, we've had like this move down on the weekly chart, followed by an aggressive move up. I would just really like for this to hold. Now, personally, I do not want to see another move down into this level. I would really like to see this momentum kind of just, continue throughout. I don't want to see too many opportunities for price to come down and retrace. We have this fair value gap here, which we've pretty much filled all the way on the weekly chart. Let me just highlight this very clearly over here. I'm just basically highlighting all the main levels of support, and then I'll go over some resistance levels. The main area that we're gonna have to hold is basically just going to be this whole section over here. So this here, this down close candle, I would really like for us to hold. We can just ignore this for now. I would really like this to hold. So in my head right now, kind of refining my area of invalidation from that massive order block to this, I would say that if we generally speaking, if we lose this candle here at 0.55, it's going to look, way more bearish than I anticipated. So I'm going to mark this out as line in the sand level. Do not be confused with a move down that looks like this, where it's just a quick, liquidity grab that literally forms in like a 5-minute candle, because we've seen quite a lot of these happen, especially depending on what exchange you're using. But seeing a massive weekly or monthly close around this level here is going to be pretty detrimental to this bias that I have. So main area of support, local level of support over here, followed by our line in the sand level down here, which pretty much just gives us that big cross saying that this is a no-no. bias should be, revisited, and maybe we need to revisit the chart and just see what we missed and what to do from here. So overall, in terms of support levels, I would say this is all that I'm really looking at. I want to see on the 4-hour if I spot anything over here. Nothing really on the 4-hour. We have this order block down here, but there is a chance that we simply just come down, take out some liquidity here in this range, especially if you go down to the hourly chart and see what's going on. It's been a bit of a choppy move up yesterday. Or well, actually today. This happened kind of like during the Asia session over here. So there's always the chance where we could just come down, see liquidity sweep before a potential move up. So I would say that, I guess for main levels, I would definitely want to see this here hold like this for the main level, followed by, we have our fair value gap here. I'm not really looking at this as some sort of support, more just a reference point. So you could say to yourself that this is locally followed, given that we could have a liquidity sweep down here of these Asia lows, liquidity sweep into here, followed by move up. So that's more locally speaking, levels to look out for, these 3 levels, but this one in particular here locally. Now, you're probably wondering what area of resistances I even have in mind. And to be honest, there's not much. Like number 1, I would say that if you were to take this long, this is going to be a very, very obvious take profit area over here, coming in at just above $1. I would say around $1 is definitely going to be your first area for take profits. Now, if we go down to the weekly, let's see what else we have. It kind of like just helps refine price action. We can also check our volume levels. See over here, check our volume of the, move down. Nothing really much. The only high volume nodes that we have are over here where this order block is, and over here during this secondary range of consolidation. So I would say if you want to take your profits on this trade, it would look something like this, where let's say, for example, you enter your trade. Let's just say you enter your trade here. Obviously, again, I hate when it does this. When I'm in log, go down to auto, bring it up like this. I would say even like this. Bring it up. So I would say this. I would say this is your take profit 1. So where does that take profit 1 kind of get you? It gives you a 50% gain if you take profit at 1.15 over here. And then your second area for take profits is going to give you potentially a 250% gain, followed by your third and last area, which is, pretty much $6, which is going to give you around 700% gain. So that is overall my idea on sand, and it is quite bullish. I know that, but I do feel quite bullish on this asset in general. The other head of that coin is Gala. If you guys have noticed what Gala's been doing, it's been going pretty nuts. It is correcting as we speak, which we'll go over, but Sand and Gala are kind of both the same, different sides of the same coin, I guess you could say. And I think that Sand has more potential in that regards. So anyways, moving on to the next asset, which I haven't looked at in a long time, which is XRP. Now, I'm gonna always start with the yearly chart on these assets. And number 1, if we go over the yearly chart on XRP, we talked about the swing lows that were formed. We talked about these liquidity grabs that we formed on the 2023 candle. I'm not seeing that on XRP. Like right now, XRP has just kind of been, ever since this 2021 candle, we've just kind of been raging in between it. So a lot of people would potentially say, okay, we formed our move up and now we're forming like this kind of like massive like flag on the yearly chart, or even like the 6-month chart, if we have a look at that as well. Move up and then it's just been like sideways ever since. But for me, unlike Sand, unlike SHIB, unlike ZIL, there is no massive confirmation that we've gotten a swing low. There is no confirmation for massive bullishness on XRP, the same way I feel about Sand or Zilka. We are in bullish market structure. Yes, we have been going up for a long time, but It's been very slow. It's been very steady. Nothing really crazy going on. Now, if we take a look over here at this, 6-month candle, the high down to the low, you'll see similarly to how I marked out that the yearly charts have taken out the liquidity at the lows. We've done the opposite on XRP, where we've taken out the highs of the 6-month chart. And also if we look at the yearly chart, it's also the same thing. We've taken out the top of the yearly chart candle over here. So in my head, I'm thinking that, I'm not saying that there is a massive rejection here, but I don't have that same confidence. There's no clear indication that we formed any swing lows or anything. Our swing low was formed here and we've gotten that massive move up. But, nothing, after that, it's already kind of complete, that swing low move, impulsiveness to the upside. So I would say in terms of yearly chart bullishness, I would say it's not quite apparent. But we can always look at the lower time frame. We can always see if we're missing anything, see if there's any lines of invalidation. Let's say you are long or you do have any buys. You just want to know what to look out for. Number one, on the 3-month chart, we have this down close candle, which is acting currently as support. This would need to hold. This would absolutely need to hold to confirm, continued move to the upside. If we go on to the monthly, you'll see that, over here, we can refine it to this monthly candle over here. We formed this down close candle. We currently, pretty much bounced off of it this month. And we're now, pretty much deciding, are we going to go up for these highs once more? Or, are we going to potentially lose it at some point? So this is going to be your line in the sand level over here, this monthly down close candle. I'm just trying to think, if you wanted to have any sort of targets. Let's say you're taking your long here. I wouldn't even advise like on XRP. I don't look at this chart and I'm like, yeah, I'm ultra bullish on it per se. I don't see massive opportunity. Of course, again, like I said, just keep in mind the line in the sand level. Use this as your reference point and see from there what you can do. Let's also, do some typical, classic analysis and see where there's volume. We have a high volume node where we are right now, essentially. Well, this weekly order block is your high volume node level. So again, this is something that you'd want to see kept. You don't want to see this lost. If you lose this, I think there's going to be a really, really high chance that we just go back down to the put in control, or even lower actually, to come down and fulfill this kind of like, range high to range low scenario. So I would say definitely, if you're in any spot buys or if you have any longs from God knows where, just keep this level on your chart and make sure that, we don't lose it. If we lose it, maybe you have to start scaling out and, just rethinking your plan overall. But yeah, we have a lot of liquidity built up due to the slow move up. And we also have, a couple of magnets below us. You could say that we have some very poor highs, which I agree. We do have a lot of poor highs, but we also have poor lows. And it's kind of like a flip of a coin. If you want to say to yourself, we were going to take out the highs before the lows. So as it stands, I think I'm going to just not give any massive commentary on XRP just because nothing's really that clear. Let's go down to the daily chart and see what there is over here. Again, nothing really special. I'm gonna refine the volume down to this range here that we're currently at, like this. Again, this is a super important level. This is really, really important. I really do not want to see this lost. If you're bullish, ideally, even speaking, like I'm going to try and refine this as much as possible for you. Like this is, if you're bullish, if you're ultra bullish, this is your invalidation point. If this is lost, then I would say that the bullish scenario isn't there. I don't see another move higher. Keep this area over here like this, and you're gonna find yourself, moving much higher on the chart. So yeah, but again, I don't feel conviction on XRP. I don't feel that conviction now. You could look at it in a multitude of different ways. You could see this like as a big A, B, C. And now that we've had this correction down, we're looking for, this A and then a B, and then we're looking for another C wave move down. But it's a bit hard to tell because when a lot of alts and even Bitcoin itself looks bullish, I don't want to sit here and give an extremely bearish scenario on an altcoin because it just doesn't make sense. Because we could just keep ranging and ranging and ranging sideways until a lot of these other alts and Bitcoin hit their massive resistance levels. And then we see a massive downside. So I'm not going to give any, I'm just going to give you your line in the sand levels and you do what you want to do with that, with XRP. And that's it right here. So yeah, anyways, without, rambling for too much longer, let's move on to DOT. DOT is pretty nice. Again, like always start with the yearly chart and it'll tell the story immediately. Number one, again, that swing low that formed is apparent. It's right there. We've had our move down in 2022, liquidity grow up 2023, now move up in 2024. We have officially gone past the 2023 high, which is starting to set up this swing low opportunity down in the 6-month chart. Again, just first level of resistance is going to be this 6-month order block over here on the chart. Down to the 3-month level, what do we have? See if we can refine it. Nothing to really refine. If you look at the 3 months, we've literally had like a clean little back test of these down close candles here. So I would say that massive support was hit on DOT a while ago. Going down to the 1 month just to see like what there is. You can refine your support level to this down close candle here. This one that's held. So I would say for DOT, I'm remaining bullish on DOT until we hit at least $17, $16, $17 over here. You could refine this to this candle here, this resistance. That's not to say we're going to see massive rejection from here, but it is to say that this is a place where you want to make sure you take your profits off the table, or at least, majority of profits off the table, and then you can let the rest ride and set your stop loss to wherever you entered or as close as possible. So at the moment, I would say that I'm definitely still looking for higher on DOT. This is going to be your main level of support. Let's go down to the daily chart and see what we have here. I'm just gonna take my time with this one a little bit longer with DOT and see what we can do. Take trend line. I'm trying to think, if we do see a correction, how long would that take? Because this is support, and in my head, we could see something where we do come up to $16, $17, and then we see like, a rejection, we see a move down, coming down to back down to $8, $7 zone. And then this could be your main area of support over here. Let's check some volume. I'd imagine the volume is going to line up exactly to this order block here, or at least, yep, right there. So this is going to be your main area of support here, around $7.6. You could even refine this order block down something like this. There you go. So this is going to be your main area of support on the high time frame. I would say for now, I'm not really, sitting here saying that there's a short opportunity and that we could potentially go down. I'm going to double check the monthly and see how that looks. Because the monthly still looks good. Everything still looks good. Nothing's looking bearish. There's no swing highs that are formed just yet. We could just still see like a massive move up. Go down to the daily. Down here on the daily chart, we got a back test of this order block over here before continuing our move up. So this is currently a really important level. If we come back down, obviously this is going to be lost because we've already tapped into it once. I would say these are the two main areas for DOT. If you're looking for spot and you're looking for massive trades, this is your massive area of support. This is your massive area of resistance on DOT. And let's say, for example, we do get our move down on DOT over here. What's that going to look like? It's going to look like this. Let's say 20%. Let's say you want to risk 20%. Yeah, I would say that's pretty nice trade over here. So you're looking at a 100% gain for a potential 20% risk on DOT. And let's say I'm gonna give two exact scenarios. Number one, is if we see something like this, where, you know, we just come up and we reject down, we see something like this, then, you know, I would say that this is going to be your major area of take profits over here, before potentially maybe we either, you know, move lower or we simply just keep going higher. But either way, this is still going to be big resistance. So that's scenario number one, is if we just reject now before coming up here. Now, if we go up to this area of resistance over here immediately, and then see a move down, you know, something like this, where we get like this long correction, then I would say that, you know, we would actually be ending up going higher than this area of resistance, and we could see something like this, and then this trade would actually turn into a, you know, larger, maybe potentially 200% gain over here to come up and take out these highs, you know, even higher. So I would say it's definitely going to be dependent on, do we hit this resistance first before this order block, or do we hit this order block first and then come up to this resistance? So these are the two scenarios that I have in mind for the high time frame. If you guys haven't noticed, yes, I am sticking to the high time frame because it is just like, I think with altcoins at the moment, I don't really want to focus on the low time frame. Of course, you know, maybe there's your re-entry opportunities and whatnot and so forth. But overall, I think there's just like, for the high time frame, there's just such good opportunities in the market, and I don't think you should give yourself a headache and sit here over leveraging on, you know, the lower time frame. So at the moment, I would say that we're kind of, it's hard for me to say that, you know, this area here is a long or short. It's kind of just a neutral area. We're kind of just in an uptrend. There's no massive level of support. You know, we've already hit our massive level of support over here in this daily order block, and now we're seeing if we're going to keep going up higher to our main resistance, and we have our main support. So this is overall what I'm looking for on DOT, potentially either this scenario or the previous one that I just shared. So what else do we have on our list? Let's go over Ape, actually, because Ape is something that not only was recommended on Twitter, but also I've recommended this in the Trading Floor Discord, which, if you guys aren't a part of, we have been killing it with the altcoins lately. I'm not going to even lie to you guys. Like, literally go look at Long It for Bong It. Go look at the Trading Floor Twitter. Go look at our, you know, YouTube page, which is all, you know, for free, and you can just see, you know, our results posted, and, you know, there's no way to just discredit that. So we've gone down to $1 on Ape. We've hit our massive liquidity level, and we've been going up, you know, higher ever since. So that's our main consensus at the moment. Now, it's pretty much the same idea, where we've taken out the liquidity on the 2023 candle of the 2022 low. And if you guys haven't noticed, I put take profit 3 here because I've been so bullish on this that I was really like, okay, we're going to buy at $1, and then we're going to have our, you know, take profit zones look like this. Ignore the stop loss because I already know it's going to be janky over here, like not necessarily like this, but like this over here. And then your take profits, if you guys know how we do it, is going to be like this. So essentially we've already hit, make sure it's on log, we've already hit our take profit 1 at 1.8. Our take profit 2 is really close at 3.2, and then our third take profit here 5.8 before our final take profit here. So this shouldn't actually be TP3, it should be, you know, just final take profit over here. So overall, I'm extremely, you know, still bullish on Ape, and we've actually formed this, you know, really clean, like, you know, swing low and order block over here. So I would say that we actually have really close support over here. Do I still think this is a good buy? Absolutely, I do. I really think Ape is still really nice. I think it's clean. I would say that if we go down to 1.5 again, so if we lose, you know, about 50% of its value from where we are right now, then I would say that that is, you know, pretty much invalidation. But we have our fair value gap over here, like so. And if we go down to the monthly, let's see where that brings us. Nothing really. Into the weekly. I'm still so bullish on Ape, like it's insane. We haven't lost any levels. We're currently in this fair value gap and this imbalance area over here, but I don't think it's gonna hold us for for much longer, I think again, like, maintain these levels, and we're still looking for, you know, $10. I'm still looking for $10. That's just, you know, my main target for now. Similarly to DOT, however, we could see something where we kind of just come up, range, come down, hit this order block once more before coming up. But regardless, this area in general, if you're looking to buy spot, it would have to be something where, you know, you would buy around this area. You know, look for, you know, your weakness or your stop loss. I don't know how you guys trade spot personally, but I kind of just play by alerts on spot, and just, you know, look for higher until, you know, your invalidation gets hit and this fair value gap is lost. So the upside, I still think there is massive upside for ape. Do keep in mind the take profit levels that I mentioned, because again, we do have resistances that come at around between $4 to $5 over here, starting off with this massive point of control. But even just to get to this point of control, we still have almost 100% left in the tank before we get to this point of control. So yeah, I'm still bullish. And if you guys haven't noticed, the pattern so far is that I'm pretty bullish on most of these alts, just because the yearly chart does not lie, guys. The yearly chart is showing a massive swing low on these assets, and like, if that's on the yearly chart, then typically there's going to be a lot of follow through. There's going to be a lot of potential. I do think that we're still, you know, somewhat in the first phase of this bull market in terms of altcoins, and I think we still got, you know, quite a bit left. So definitely mark this out as resistance if you're looking to buy spot on ape, or start, you know, accumulating ape around this area, and see from there, take profit 1, and then your final take profit here if you'd like to do it that way rather than splitting it up into 3. So I could go down to the lower time frame, just because I feel like I'm giving you guys just, you know, yeah, it's a buy, yeah, it's a buy. But that's just because that's just the case. That's just what's happening. Let's see what we have on ape. Okay. You see, when you see something like this, you could say that there is a chance that, you know, we could see a move down to grab liquidity on this asset before, you know, coming down and then moving up again. So if you would like to play conservatively and you do not want to start buying spot, whether it's here, whether it's, you know, or even at like any sort of small retraces, you'd rather just be a lot more conservative, I would say potentially wait until this liquidity gets swept, these lows down here, and then you can start looking for buys around this area here, around $2 area, $2 liquidity. And then once that's taken out, you can say to yourself, okay, we've taken out liquidity, we're down at support, I can start, you know, buying spot around this level. So let's refine things a little bit. Let's just, you know, get rid of all the noise and just mark this out. So you can say to yourself here, this is liquidity, like so. You have your trend line here, and let's say, for example, you do want to buy. I would look at it like this. I'm just going to remove the log before I do this. I would say it could look like this. Let me just check a couple of things. Yeah. Then let's come up to $4. Yeah, so if we do get something like this, then I would say that we could get a $2 liquidity grab and then followed by a pretty, you know, massive move up to the upside to around $4, and then see from there what we do. So that's ape. So let's see what else we have on our list. We haven't covered Solana. So let's cover Solana really quickly. Go over that. And let's see. Now, Solana is something that I am kicking myself over because I've been trading this. Well, I ended up buying Solana at around $10, but like an idiot, I sold very early, and yeah, I've not forgiven myself about it for a while. So the idea of my original play was like, looking for $10 liquidity grab, and then looking for a price to come up to this imbalance area, this liquidity area, and then take profits over here. So yes, it did go up, substantially, 400%. But when you see a move like this, you can't help kicking yourself over. But just remember, like, profits were made. But yeah, so Solana, there's a bit of a bittersweetness to it in my mouth. So moving forward, let's just get this off the table and say that yes, Solana, I do believe, is going for all-time highs. I don't see a scenario where we just reject here and just continue lower. I do see Solana just, continuing for the all-time highs. We're so close. There, you look at the yearly chart. We're just so close to hitting these all-time highs that I'm pretty confident. I'm pretty confident about it. Sorry if you guys can start hearing my laptop. It's starting to like fly away from the fan. I think because I've been recording for a while. But anyway, Solana is definitely something that I'm looking for the all-time highs on. I could just mark out, simple levels on here, something like this. This is going to be your main area of support on the 6-month time frame. Let's refine it. Let's go down to the lower time frame as much as we can. Refine it to something like this over here. Let's go down to the monthly. This is going to be your main area over here for any sort of support. Do I think we're going to actually come down here? That is, I don't, to be honest. I think as it stands, what we're doing is we're currently just, bouncing off of this monthly order block over here, and we're going for higher. I don't see a scenario where we just, crash down from here before hitting all-time highs. So if you're in position and you're kind of just wanting to see, like, do I wait? Do I sell? I would say make sure you've taken your profits, but there is a high chance that we still come up for these all-time highs and keep going higher. I don't even have like a specific resistance on Solana, but I would say for now, if you're in position, you can wait comfortably for $300 and see from there, selling your position, or most of your position, and riding the wave. But if you're looking to kind of re-enter at some point, I would say it's tough. It's tough for re-entries at the moment in this market. I would say there is a chance, of course, that we see another move down to this order block in April, around April, May. Again, similar to the idea of ape, waiting for that liquidity sweep of these local lows before another move higher. But again, that is not me saying that there is a short opportunity. That is not me saying that price is going to crash down now. I'm just making you guys aware of what the support levels are, and that is over here at around $100 liquidity. If we go over the volume as well, let's mark out the volume. So yeah, that is clear as day for me that this is going to be your main area of support. Over here, $100 liquidity. If we see a move down to this area, I would say that is going to be very, very nice for potential buy opportunity. So we can mark it out as well. Make sure I'm out of log before that happens. Let's say we come down to 100. Stop loss down here. And then coming up for the all-time highs. Again, that's if we come down first before going to the all-time highs. That is going to be my main idea. So yeah, that's honestly really simple. We're in a buyer's market, and the only thing you can really do right now is wait until support gets hit for those buy opportunities to show themselves. If you're not already in buys, I would say for now, if you are currently holding, from way lower, ride the wave. Wait for us to lose these levels before seeing, okay, I'm going to start scaling out of my position from there, because we are starting to show signs of weaknesses. But until levels like this are lost, I would say that, we're going for higher. We're going for much higher prices on these assets. Like I do not see a short position anywhere at the moment. So I think to close this off, I think I want to just take a quick look at Bitcoin as well, because I do think that is going to be a nice little reference point. Let me just highlight the main areas of support, I suppose, on Bitcoin. Let's remove this for a second. Over here, $60,000 was swept. That was our main area that we've shared a while back within the Discord. And we said that, okay, if this gets lost, that's our line in the sand, but it just was never lost. We're still going on for higher. And at the moment, we have set up quite a bit of liquidity as well over here. So, you know, similar to those setups on Ape and on Sol that I just showed you, where we have these liquidity levels down here, it's the same for Bitcoin. So I would say that there is some, you know, similarities in the assets where, you know, if Bitcoin comes down to take out these liquidity levels, then that could be your opportunity, where Sol comes down to $100. Ape goes down to that level of support that I just shared recently. So keep your eyes peeled for these, but I'm going to quickly try to see if there's anything in specific that we can mark out. There's nothing really on the daily chart over here. And then if we actually go down to the 4-hour, I would say it's not going to be one of those things where it's based on levels. I would say it's going to be one of those things where it's just based off liquidity at this point. We can actually start marking out some fibs as well, just so we can see what we have. Let's see main fibs over here. If you come down to $66,000, we could hit this golden pocket area. Okay, so I would say if we see a rejection down, this is going to be a really important fib to maintain. Of course, that depends on where we reject, where we kind of fall down. So again, not saying that there's a short, I'm just saying that, you know, mark out your support levels and be patient and make sure your Fibonacci's are based on where we rejected. Because I could mark out my fib here, but if we go up to $75,000, that's obviously going to change. So I would say just keep these fibs in mind. If you want to simplify it, you could just keep your basic Fibonacci levels on there, but I'm mostly going to be focused on that golden pocket area right below $66,000. I'm going to make sure that I'm not in log. Yep. Over here, and then waiting for those levels to hit and then seeing from there. Now, what would that position look like? It would look like this, looking for that long opportunity to our invalidation, and then going up for higher, like so. So I would say that, again, it looks very similar to Ape. It looks very similar to Sol in the way that there is liquidity. We have, you know, support levels lining up, but is that guaranteed that we're going to come down to this? No. So if you're on buys and if you're on positions, you can just be patient, ride it out. You don't need to panic and start selling. Of course, take your profits, but you don't need to close completely. And if you're being patient and you're wanting to buy, then obviously this is not the place. Yes, we could go higher, but it's just too risky to sit here and start buying at the all-time highs at the moment. Wait for the support levels to get hit. Wait for, you know, these assets to show their hand, and, you know, just be ready for opportunities like this to show themselves. Invalidation for this idea and thinking that, okay, we're entering this like ultra bearish scenarios if we lose this low. If we lose this order block over here, this imbalance, sorry, then I would say that is very, very bearish, and we could be seeing much lower prices all the way down to, you know, taking out these lows over here of liquidity below $50,000. So that's all I really have to say. It's been quite a long video, but to cover these assets in as much detail as I can, that's what I have to do. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure you check out the links in the description. Keep up to date with us on Twitter, on the Discord, and I'll see you guys on the next one. I hope this was super helpful, and bye-bye.